Hey everybody, it's Hulo's Haunts. Today we're talking about tools you'll need in a haunt building, tools you could use on a daily basis when you're building your haunt, and tools that could just help you out increase your building time. If you do a lot of like wood structures or just haunt building in general, tools you could definitely use during your haunt. Now, we're gonna do hand tools, power tools, and big boy tools like table saws and stuff. Now, these are tools I used almost every day when I was building my haunt, and I use them quite a bit on the off season, like when I need to build a bed or like build a pond or something. These are tools I use quite a bit throughout the year, not only during haunt season. So let's get started. Starting off, we got some hand tools. This is a bag I carry pretty much everywhere I go. So let's get started. So to get started, these are hand tools I would use quite a bit when I was building my haunt, to be honest. I would use like these mallets, hammers, tape measures, crescent wrenches, slip groove pliers, needle nose wire cutters, lineman pliers, these Allen keys, speed square. These are tools I highly recommend if you ever build your haunt. You don't need these high-end, you don't need Craftsman or Husky, you don't need Stanley, DeWalt, you don't need those. Literally just go to Harbor Freight and just pick up these tools. Harbor Freight, or even Walmart, Harbor Freight, they have some decent tools for kind of cheap. If Home Depot and Lowe's is your place to go, be my guest. I'm just saying, if you're on a budget, Harbor Freight and sometimes Walmart will have what you need for a good deal. So like I would use these like for bolts, if the wire's too long or I need to cut something, for the like to adjust something or to hammer something into a nail. Tape measure. If you don't know how to read a tape measure, they sell some tape measures, the fractions on them. I know how to read a tape measure, so I don't really need it. I found this on the side of the road the other day, so I'm like, I'll just pick it up. That's my name, I wrote on that. Man, these are tools I would use quite a bit, every day actually, while building my haunt. But these are hand tools. Let's move into the power tools that I would use for my haunt. Now here are some power tools that I would use, not all the time, but quite a bit, enough to the point where I had to buy it myself. These are tools I would definitely use on a day-to-day basis when I was building my haunt, and I'm going to be using it to build my haunt again. Reciprocating saw, circular saw, jigsaw, impact driver, drill, nail gun. This is actually a screwdriver. I would highly recommend this tool. I would highly recommend it, not only for haunt building, but just general. It's $100. It's $100 for the battery, charger, bag. It actually comes with 2 batteries. Red lithium CP 1.5. I highly recommend this tool. I could not be happier with it. It's like $100 at Home Depot. I highly recommend it. Recip saw, 18 gauge nailer. You don't have to get a cordless one, because cordless ones are very expensive. Just go to Harbor Freight, get like a $30 nailer with an air compressor, you're good to go. Some drill bits, some other drill bits right there, Shockwave. I recommend Milwaukee Shockwave. I also recommend Milwaukee drill bits as well, but I got Ryobi because this was a gift, so I recommend that. But I highly recommend Milwaukee bits. They're sharp, they last long, they're very good. These are tools I would definitely recommend. If you do a lot of DIY haunt building, these are tools I would definitely recommend. Now, the circular saw can become obsolete on the next couple tools I'm going to show you, but I would still 100% recommend a circular saw. You don't have to get cordless like I did. I just do a lot of work where there's no power, or I do work where there's very little power, so I decided to go with cordless. And honestly, a lot of cordless tools nowadays are a lot stronger and better than corded, but it's all personal preference. I personally like cordless. If you do get a lot of cordless, I would go with rigid, lifetime warranty, lifetime batteries. If like, say you get an impact driver, 30 years down the road, it just snaps in half. They will service this or replace it completely for free. They will repair your impact driver. I've had to service a couple of these tools. If you get Rigid, they're on the medium price, but I like them. If you get Rigid, they will service your tools for free. It could be 50 years from now, and they will still repair it or replace it. However, Hercules, if you treat your tools right, they will last you a lifetime. But if you want that extra protection, just go with Rigid. That's my honest opinion. However, each your own. Some people like Milwaukee, some like Makita, some like Ryobi, some like DeWalt, some even like Hercules from Harbor Freight. These are tools I would use, but I'm getting off topic. These are tools I would 100% recommend using at a job site, or not job site, while you're building your haunt. These are power tools I would 100% recommend. Just get it. So jigsaw, circular saw, impact driver, drill. Mine's a hammer drill, but you don't need a hammer drill unless you're drilling into concrete. Nail gun, recip saw. You don't need to get this, but an electric screwdriver. I would 100% recommend this. Torque settings. I use this way more than my big drills, to be honest with you. But you know, just these are tools I recommend. However, the next couple tools you don't need. These are basic tools that you 100% need. The hand tools and these I 100% recommend. The next couple of tools I would suggest if you do a lot of big building, but they're not necessary. So let's go check those out. These are tools I 100% recommend if you do a lot of big building. A miter saw with this stand and a table saw. Now, this table saw cost about $1,000, but that's for a very good reason. It's called a saw stop, and if you don't know what those are, say the blade is running, say it's spinning. If you touch the blade with your finger by accident, it will have a mechanism down here. Let me see if I can get to it. Let me take this off. It has a mechanism down here that will 100% break blade and drop it in order for you to be completely safe. I'll drop a video of it working right here. But I 100%, if you have the money, go with a saw stop. Even if you know how to use a table saw, I would still recommend it. But you know, if you just watch a quick 10-minute video on how to use a table saw safely and properly, you'll be good to go. But still, I recommend saw stops because they're safe, they're very expensive, but they're well worth it. Shop vac for dust collection, and a miter saw. This is a 7 1/4. I have a dual bevel compound or dual bevel 12-inch sliding miter saw, but this 7 1/4 gets what I need done 99% of the time. When I'm building with 2x4s, 2x3, 1x4s, 1x2 material, this gets done what I need. This is like $200 at Home Depot. This stand is an extra $170. So you're looking around $400 for a miter saw with the stand, but I 100% recommend this. So these are tools I 100% recommend using when you're building your haunt, or just having in your shop in general. These shop vacs, I need a new hose for this. But this is about an $80 shop vac. 100% worth it. So yeah. Forgot to mention, but I would 100%, if you work at nighttime or dark areas, get a panel light. Panel light 100%. These things, this gets about 1,000 lumens. It's very bright. I love it. I would 100% recommend it if you work in dark areas. However, if you don't, if you work in broad daylight like I do, then you're fine. But use a panel light, in my opinion, if it starts getting dark and you want to continue working. But panel lights are great. This is about $110. I don't know if they still make it. I think they have a new one. But this is, when I got it, it was about 110, tool only, but you can plug it into a battery or the wall. So it's hybrid, which is very nice. So yeah. There's also a few tools I didn't mention, like hot knives, heat guns, 21-degree nail guns. Those are tools I did use, or didn't really use enough to include in this video. These are the tools I included in this video were enough, or were used enough to include them for you guys to know what to use. But at the end of the day, it's your personal preference. If you use completely different tools than I did, let me know. But these are the tools I used when I was building my haunt. You could also do different blades. Like, I know jigsaws have a blade to cut styrofoam. I know circular saws have blades to cut different types of wood, different smooth, let's say rib cuts, smooth cuts. Different Diablo blades are very good. Diablo Fruit, Bosch blades, I think. Off topic. Tools included in this video, I recommend getting. You don't need the expensive saw stop that I have. You could go to Harbor Freight, get a Hercules one for $300. You don't need the $400 miter saw that I have. You could just get the saw alone. It's like $200. You don't need the rigid cordless tools. You could get corded ones at Harbor Freight or Walmart for like $120. But these are tools I invested in myself because I use them outside of the haunt. I use them on big projects. So these are tools I used. These are tools you should use, and see you in the next one.